Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where we explore the hidden treasures, forgotten gems, and unbelievable values of American coins that most people overlook in their daily lives. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that looks so ordinary at first glance, yet its market value will completely blow your mind. Imagine holding just a quarter, a coin worth 25 cents, but instead of being worth just a few cents, it could be worth more than $500,000. Yes, you heard that right. The 1973 quarter dollar has been reported to have a market value reaching an incredible $585, $331. Now let's take a journey together to understand why this coin is so special, how you can identify it, what makes it so valuable, and most importantly, how you might already have one sitting in your coin jar, your drawer, or even inside your pocket change without realizing it. First, let's start with the basics. The United States quarter dollar is one of the most widely used coins in circulation. In 1973, millions of quarters were minted in the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Most of these coins are common, worth only face value, but in the world of numismatics, rarity, condition, errors, and history make all the difference. Among these millions of coins, a few rare examples stand out because of unique minting errors, pristine conditions, or unusual characteristics that elevate their value from cents to thousands, and in the case we're talking about today, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, what exactly makes the 1973 quarter so valuable? Let's break it down. Some 1973 quarters have been discovered with minting errors such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or being struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank piece of metal that a coin is stamped onto. In some cases, quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins, such as a nickel or a foreign coin, creating an extraordinary rarity. Collectors and investors are willing to pay astronomical prices for these mistakes because they are so rare and almost impossible to replicate. Another factor that increases the value is the grade of the coin. If a 1973 quarter is found in pristine condition, uncirculated, with no scratches, no wear, and has been preserved for decades, it can be graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade coin, especially in mint state or proof-like condition, can fetch huge amounts of money at auction. Some collectors will pay whatever it takes to add these flawless examples to their collections. Now let's talk numbers. In recent years, certain rare examples of the 1973 quarter have been sold in private auctions and collections for jaw-dropping prices. The most incredible one reported reached the staggering market value of $585,331. Think about that for a second. That's the price of a luxury house, a collection of expensive cars, or even a lifetime of savings, all tied to a single coin that most people wouldn't look twice at if they saw it in circulation. This is why coin collecting and hunting is such an exciting hobby. Every coin tells a story, and every time you check your pocket change, you might be holding a piece of hidden history. Imagine finding a coin that looks completely normal, only to realize it is one of the rarest examples in existence, capable of changing your financial life in an instant. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these rare 1973 quarters? First, check the mint mark. The Philadelphia mint coins usually do not have a mint mark, while the Denver mint coins are marked with a small d. Look closely at the details of the coin. Are there any unusual features like doubled letters, strange edges, off-center designs, or unusual thickness or weight? If so, you might have stumbled upon a mint error. Next, check the condition. The shinier and more flawless the coin, the higher its potential value. Finally, consider getting your coin professionally graded and authenticated. It is always worth the time to go through your old coin collections, jars, or boxes that have been lying around in storage. Many people have coins passed down from parents or grandparents without realizing their true value. A single rare coin like the 1973 quarter could turn out to be a life-changing discovery. At Rare US Coins, we believe every coin hunter and collector should know the stories behind these treasures. The thrill of the hunt is not just about the value, but about uncovering a piece of American history that survived the test of time and now shines with new significance. So if you have a 1973 quarter dollar, do not ignore it. Examine it carefully, compare it with professional resources, and if you think it could be one of these rare examples, consider having it evaluated by experts. Who knows, you might just be holding a coin worth over $500,000. Before we wrap up, let me remind you that stories like this are why we love making videos here on rare US coins. Coins are more than just currency, they are artifacts, treasures, and sometimes even miracles waiting to be discovered. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable and rare coins that could be hiding in plain sight, make sure you subscribe to Rare US Coins and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with your friends and family so they too can check their pocket change for hidden treasures. And who knows, the next time you go through your coins, you might just find a fortune waiting for you. This is Rare US Coins. Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures, fascinating stories, and incredible values behind the coins that many people overlook every single day. If you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update about rare coins that could be sitting in your pocket right now. Today's video is going to blow your mind because we are talking about a coin that looks ordinary to most people, but in reality, it can be worth a huge amount of money. We are diving into the world of the 1982 quarter dollar, and believe it or not, certain examples of this coin have sold in the coin market for values as high as $585,332. Yes, you heard that right, over $500,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. Now, let's break this down step by step, because you might be wondering, how can a simple 1982 quarter be worth such an astronomical amount of money? What makes it so valuable? And most importantly, how can you check your own coins to see if you might be sitting on a fortune? First, let's talk a little bit about the background of the 1982 Washington quarter. The coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is represented by the P Mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint is one of the oldest and most important mints in the United States, and in 1982 it produced millions of quarters for circulation. Because so many of these coins were made, most people assume that they are all common and worth only face value. But the reality is that within this massive production, there are rare varieties, minting errors, and exceptionally preserved examples that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. One of the biggest reasons why 1982 quarters can be worth so much is because that year, the United States Mint stopped producing mint sets for collectors. What this means is that high-quality, uncirculated examples of coins from 1982 are much harder to find compared to other years. Without mint sets, collectors must rely on coins that somehow survived circulation without getting worn down. This makes pristine examples incredibly rare and extremely valuable, but it doesn't stop there. Certain error coins from 1982 can push the value into unbelievable territory. Some of the errors include strikes, double dies, missing mint marks, and planchet errors. For example, if you find a 1982 quarter that has a dramatic minting error combined with perfect condition, you could be holding onto a coin worth tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's how we get to that jaw-dropping figure of $585,332 in the coin market. Now, let's talk about grading because condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. A quarter from 1982 that has been heavily circulated, scratched, or damaged is usually worth only its face value. But a coin that has never been used, has its original luster, sharp details, and no visible wear can be graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC at a very high level. Coins graded MS65, MS66, MS67 or higher are the ones that sell for thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine pulling out a coin from your change and realizing that it is in mint state condition. That's why it is so important to carefully check your coins and, if needed, have them professionally graded. Let's dive even deeper into the numbers. A regular circulated 1982 quarter might only be worth 25 cents. But in an uncirculated mint state grade, its value can jump dramatically. For example, an MS65 coin could be worth hundreds of dollars, an MS66 could be worth thousands, and an MS67 could push into five figures. But when you add in unique minting errors or a one-of-a-kind variety, that's when we see prices soar into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's exactly how a coin like this reached a market value of $585, $332. Now, you might be wondering how you can tell if you have one of these valuable quarters. The first step is to look at the date and the mint mark. You want a quarter that says 1982 with the P mint mark. Next, examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look for errors such as doubled letters, unusual spacing, or off-center strikes. Also check the coin's condition. Does it still have sharp details, no scratches, and strong luster? If it looks exceptional, then you could have something valuable. I always recommend using a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to examine your coins closely. Sometimes errors are very small and not visible to the naked eye. Once you believe you may have something special, the next step is to send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate and grade your coin, which is essential if you ever want to sell it at auction. Collectors and investors trust these grading companies, and having your coin certified could be the difference between selling it for a few dollars or selling it for life-changing money. And here's the exciting part: these rare coins are still out there in circulation. Every day, quarters are exchanged in shops, banks, vending machines, and coin jars. You might have one sitting in your change right now and not even know it. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's like a treasure hunt, and the treasure could be sitting in your wallet or piggy bank at this very moment. So let's recap. The 1982 P Washington quarter might look ordinary, but in reality, certain examples can be worth an unbelievable amount of money. The highest known market value for one of these coins has reached $585,332, making it one of the most incredible finds in modern coin collecting. Factors like missing mint sets, minting errors, and high-grade condition all contribute to its value. Before we wrap up, I want to encourage you to start checking your coins more carefully. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, it never hurts to look closely at your change. You never know when you might come across that once-in-a-lifetime coin that could change your financial future forever. And remember, this channel Rare US Coins. Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where we explore the fascinating world of American coins, hidden treasures, and the incredible values that some of these everyday pieces of change can hold. If you have an old coin sitting in your pocket, a jar of change in your home, or even coins that have been passed down from your family, you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of the most exciting finds in the coin collecting world, the 1984 quarter dollar from the Philadelphia Mint, also known as the 1984 P quarter. And believe it or not, some of these coins have been valued at up to $585,333. Yes, you heard that correctly, nearly $600,000 for a single quarter. Now, you might be asking yourself, how can a 25-cent coin be worth more than $500,000? The answer lies in the details, the rarity, the history, and of course, the collector demand. So let's take a deep dive into everything you need to know about this extraordinary coin. The 1984 quarter dollar features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse side. This design was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth, and it became the standard design for the Washington quarter. The reverse of the coin, which was still in use in 1984, shows the majestic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows, and an olive branch, a symbol of both strength and peace. At first glance, it may look just like any other Washington quarter, but the true value lies in the specific details and minting anomalies that make certain 1984 quarters incredibly rare. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P Mint mark, produced millions of quarters in 1984, so most of them are only worth face value or slightly above it for collectors. However, there are rare varieties and error coins that have stunned experts and collectors around the world. Some of the most valuable examples include quarters with double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual minting flaws that occurred during the production process. These errors are what transform a regular quarter into a collector's dream piece. Imagine having a coin in your hand that was struck incorrectly at the mint nearly 40 years ago and now carries a market value higher than most luxury cars or even a house. That's the excitement of coin collecting. One particular 1984 P quarter, in pristine condition with a rare error variety, shocked the numismatic community when it sold for more than $500,000 at auction. That staggering number of $585,333 is proof that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises and opportunities. If you're wondering what makes your 1984 quarter special, here are some important tips to check. First, examine the coin closely for any doubling in the lettering or the date. This could indicate a double die error, which is one of the most sought-after varieties. Second, look at the edges of the coin for any unusual thickness, clipping, or misalignment. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, can also make a coin very valuable. Third, the condition of the coin plays a huge role. A coin in mint state, with no scratches, wear, or tarnish, can command an incredible premium compared to one that has been in circulation for decades. Collectors use a grading system to determine the value of a coin, ranging from poor condition to mint state and even proof-like quality. A coin graded as MS-65 or higher can easily fetch thousands, while rare errors in perfect condition can skyrocket into the hundreds of thousands. That's exactly what happened with the 1984 P quarter that sold for over $500,000. Its unique error, combined with near-perfect condition, made it a once-in-a-lifetime find. So what should you do if you think you might have one of these valuable coins? The first step is to carefully examine your coin under a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Pay attention to the mint mark, the date, and any unusual characteristics. If you notice something odd, don't clean the coin, as cleaning can drastically reduce its value. Instead, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies can authenticate and grade your coin, giving you an official certificate of its condition and rarity. Once you have a graded coin, you can choose to keep it as part of your collection or sell it at auction to eager collectors. The coin market is fascinating because it blends history, artistry, and investment potential. Every coin tells a story, from the time it was minted to the hands it passed through and the errors that make it unique. The 1984 P quarter is a perfect example of how something so ordinary can become something extraordinary. For many people, it's not just about the money, but the thrill of discovering a hidden treasure in everyday life. After all, who wouldn't want to turn a 25-cent coin into $500,000? Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. The 1984 quarter.